when it comes to human development, a baby will not develop. In fact, it'll die. But it will not develop if it doesn't get stimulation, if it doesn't get communicated with, or if it can't communicate with another. Communication is critical to life. And listen, we have bad communication, but it's communication. We, as a cell, as a being, need to be able to communicate with and be communicated to. If you can't do that, you don't exist. If you can't communicate and nothing else hears you, it's as good as not existing. Or if you can't be communicated with, it's like you don't even exist. And a cell that can't communicate with or be communicated with, to, I suppose, it will be a dysfunctional cell. How do cells communicate? Well, there's probably some ways that we're not even aware of yet, but they release things like hormones. Well, one will release one and another one will catch it. Another one will release a neurotransmitter and another one will catch it. So those immune cytokines. So things that are released, those are all things for cell-to-cell communication. Now it takes it a step further. The cell membrane, think about this, if the cell membrane is too rigid, then stuff isn't going to be able to be communicated with as well. So the cell membrane integrity has something to do with this. And then the last parts of the cell-to-cell communication, if we're talking about, ultimately, it's stimulation. Stimulation is also movement. So exercise, we have to move. If a cell doesn't move, if it can't jiggy every once in a while, it's going to be dysfunctional. It's going to get stuck and stagnant. I don't know why I just said jiggy. But at the same time, it has to be able to rest. So as much as it needs stimulation, constant stimulation is bad, and that will damage a cell. If it constantly jiggies, it's going to get dysfunctional. So in cell-to-cell communication, this is probably the largest section. Cell-to-cell communication is hormones, it's neurotransmitters, it's the cell membrane and cell membrane integrity, but it's also if there's enough but not too much stimulation or movement and enough but not too much of rest and recuperation. All that is in cell because it has to do with stimulation in the first place. And a cell gets stimulated by being communicated with. A cell gets stimulated by communicating with something else, by moving, but it has to rest at the same time.